Are you frustrated with having to pay extra for your guitar or having to buy an extra seat on an airplane just to take your guitar with you? Or sometimes being forced to check it in to the luggage just because they don't let you take your guitar on board because of its size? Well, what we have here is a one-time investment that's a solution to that problem. So this is the Hush I by Donner. It's currently available at a stellar deal, and this is essentially a one-time investment to your problems. You're probably wondering, is this an electric? Is this an acoustic? Is this even a guitar? So this guitar essentially comes with a frame that I'll put together for you. Alright, so I'm going to put together the frame here. Now what this does is it gives you support. Traditionally, in an acoustic guitar, you would have the entire box, which was used for amplification as well as support. Here, since we only need the support element, we can have these frames here. Now you can see that this resembles something more of a guitar. You can actually hold it and just strum over it. The advantage of this is you can do this while you're at your gig or at your studio, and while you're traveling, it condenses into a really small form factor. How does this work? Well, this is an acoustic guitar, believe it or not. It's a silent guitar, which means that without amplification, without connecting it, there's no real sound to it. It's got a piezo style pickup that sits under the saddle here. And that's the whole idea of this guitar, to keep it minimalistic enough and easy for you to travel. It's also what we would call a headless guitar, which means that the tuning heads are not up here, they're actually down here. So they're integrated into the body of the guitar and they are at an angle, so you're not compromising on something, on any kind of string length that you would have post the saddle. Very easy to tune. You just, while you're playing, you can just move your hand here. And what that does is it helps decrease the overall length of the guitar by decreasing the headstock. The scale length itself is almost as much as the guitar itself with this additional section here. And if you're wondering, is this going to be difficult to play? Not at all. The frame itself provides enough support that makes it convenient for you to play. It's also got a really thin body, so that way it almost feels like you're playing an electric, but you're going to get the sound of an acoustic while plugged into your amplifier. So one thing you're probably wondering is, how does this guitar actually work? It's an acoustic guitar. How it works exactly is it's got a piezo style pickup under the saddle, and this is amplified using a preamp here. This preamp runs on a 9-volt battery, which helps it to be controlled using your volume control, and you also have a low and high frequency band. It's got a headphone output. So the best thing is, if you're someone who has a silent space where you cannot make too much noise, you can just plug this into your headphones and just practice while no one else gets disturbed. And it's also, you can use it without the frames. So if you're someone who's living in a dorm room or someone who has a restriction in space, you can just have this as it is. And another thing is, if you're just lying down on your couch or just relaxing, it's a nice little thing to have as opposed to a huge dreadnought or a jumbo style guitar. Just an easy thing to practice and have around, while having the same functionality and a playability of a full-fledged acoustic guitar. Now, who exactly is this guitar made for? As I mentioned up top, if you're traveling on flights, and not just flights, whether it's buses or any kind of transport, this is designed to be travel friendly. It comes in a really small bag, which we will show you later. And of course, this gets dismantled, so traveling with this is easy. In addition, it's also useful for anyone who has a space issue at home and cannot afford to store a big guitar. Like for example, if you're living in a dorm room and you don't really have the space, this will fit nicely whatever spot you have. You don't need to have the big guitar. Now, some of the cons that you might come across with this guitar is, firstly, it's a silent guitar, so you have to plug it in order for you to get any kind of sound, either through the headphones or through any kind of amplification. Another thing that you might find is the form factor itself being this small. If you're someone who's used to playing a dreadnought or a jumbo style guitar or anything like that, this is going to be a bit different because it almost has the feel of an electric, even lesser than that. But it's not something that you won't get used to over time. And of course, the frames are just there for support. If you do not want to use the frames, You can easily just take them off and then just have the guitar by itself. Now, speaking of travel, let's look at the bag itself. I mean, this doesn't even look like a guitar bag, does it? But believe it or not, this is what the Hush Eye comes in. So the way it works is these frames come off and they fit into this front pouch. Also, because this guitar is a solid block of wood, it's a lot more resistant to being dropped. So obviously you don't want to drop your guitar or drop any guitar, but because this is solid, it's not going to have a lot of the issues that you would face with a traditional acoustic guitar, where you might have cracks on the body and things like that. So now that I've put the frame away, I'm just going to put the guitar inside here. Zipped it up. This is my Hush Eye. Now I'm ready to go wherever I need to go.